Hi, good evening. This is Bueno from the Diocese of Paranaque. The topic I'm presenting to you is about observer's theory. So, how can we understand relationarily or the dogmatic infallibility of something rather than its dogmatic relationary, quote unquote? However, the machine expects us to understand by reason that the infallibility of something must be according to implicitly known terms, or rather, the machine is simply connected uh, to somewhat that we can conceive. However, the engine presupposes that the machine exists by reason that a human person had it created, or rather, the machinery expects us to understand that an omnipotent being has been protecting the machine, rather than the engineer who's always understanding the machine is always being the persona related to the machine other than God itself, quote unquote. So it means that the Trinitarian architecture has been in relationary meaning, quote unquote, or that the omnipotent being is omnipotent by himself, rather than the machine is not God himself, or otherwise than the engineer. Our relation with this particular notion expects us to understand that the value property of something must be according to precision. So the more we understand the machine at the level of understanding of God, the more we can understand God by himself, or rather than the machinery expects us to understand that only we can know has the value property of the overall context, quote unquote. However, we presuppose a theory that there are myriad of engines considering the machine. However, the Trinitarian engine expects us to understand the overall operations of all the totality of the machines available in the particular context of the machine. However, these presuppositions we have are not infallible by themselves. So, the machine itself is infallibly oriented according to the machinery, which is God may have been himself. The engineer is simply explicating that the control system of someone must be according to the observer he has, or otherwise. However, we are human beings considering the machinery to be effective, other than we being ourselves observer of the machine, being an engineer itself, which is irrational on our part. So, the more we understand the machine, the more we understand the control system of a human being. A person cannot control the machine, being an engineer, without him being in control of the infallible theory. However, there is a myriad of ways of understanding the Trinitarian engine for that matter. Trinitarian engine is simply connected according to the person's spiritual notionary, quote unquote. However, the presuppositions we cannot understand the observation of someone if he is not presupposing another via corporate means. The more observer the machine have, the more the machinery becomes quote unquote real for that matter. So the more we are physically inclined to each other, the more the Trinitarian observer has become into fruition, quote unquote. However, the theory we have is not supposedly infallible for that matter. Otherwise, the machinery is completely violable for that matter, quote unquote. The mystical theology of the machinery explains that there are millions of technology, or even infinite technology at our composition. The engineer is simply not himself by reason of persona if it is not in the context of the machine, or the relationary for that matter. The dogmatic theology explains that our relation implies that the context is simply correct all the time. It has to be in the engineer in the particular context all the time. Thanks a bunch.